All right, welcome everybody. So glad to have you on the live stream again. I'm back in my little studio corner here in Little Rock, and spring has sprung, and that means my eyes are watering, my nose is running, but I am fighting that for having to have the windows open. And the humidity has started to already show up here in Little Rock, so it's sticky and clammy, but I'm still fighting for the windows open as long as possible before I have to turn on air conditioning. Fortunately, it's cooled down a little bit. It was 80 today, I think, and it cooled down a little bit. We're getting a little breeze through, so that's helping. But so glad to have you on the live stream this evening. As always, welcome to all of you that have been around every week, that stop in. Those of you that are just popping in to say hello, you can join the conversation in the comments anywhere where you're watching this stream. This is really laid back. It's kind of open house style. Just pop in, pop out, say hello, join the conversation, and enjoy the painting. A few months ago, I started teaching myself to paint, and so every week I join friends, some family, and some new friends from across the internet, and we attempt a new painting every week. And so that's what we're going to do this evening. We're going to do a new painting. We've been doing some animals most recently, so we're going to go back and do not really a landscape, but kind of sort of a I guess it's a landscape, but it's not like mountains and trees. It's, well, what you see behind me, a little bridge over a brook. So I'm excited to get started on this painting this evening. You can find all of these live streams on my YouTube channel, as well as the time lapse of these live streams. So once we get done, I take these and time lapse them down to usually about 2 minutes, so you can see the painting come together really quickly. So you can join me on YouTube if you don't already. And you can follow me on Instagram at Stephen E. Rice. Stephen with a V, middle initial E, last name Rice, R-I-C-E. And you can see the progress photos of my painting, as well as different things that I'm doing along the week or throughout the week that aren't on the live stream. So let's jump in and get started. This evening, I was talking this whole time and didn't get my little handy dandy apron on, but I hope you all had a great week. Last week, if you joined me, I was up in the Black Hills of South Dakota visiting family. If you notice by my rosy face and my great farmer's tan, I was actually out on the river yesterday, forgot my sunscreen, and yeah, was kayaking a little too long, so I'm struggling today. It's not terribly painful, but am definitely looking a little lobsterish today. So that is the story behind that. You may hear some background noise, and they're predicting we're going to have some thunderstorms. So if that happens, you may hear that because my windows are open, but we'll just keep going unless the sirens start going off. Then we may have to cut this short. So let's pull this up. If you'll bear with me, I'm going to bring you a little closer so you can see what we're doing. All right. And today we have, what I've done right now is I have taken this canvas board and I have treated it just with some burnt umber. So a coat of burnt umber. I usually don't treat my canvases, but I decided to go ahead and do that for this canvas. So we start off with a covered canvas. So let's dive right in and put some basic composition on the canvas, and let me get you the reference photo so you can see it on the screen, but you can see on your screen up in the right hand corner a little better kind of what I'm actually looking at. So because it distorts the color a little bit here. So all right, let's go ahead and put some broad strokes in, and in order to do that, I'm gonna put some brown out on my palette, some ultramarine blue, ultramarine blue, and let's see, what else are we going to need? Probably some white. And maybe a tad. I don't usually use black, but maybe a little black. All right. Let's start. So this is how the palette, what we're starting with. Oh, it looks like my camera froze up. There it is. All right, so we have some brown, burnt umber, ultramarine blue, some white and black, and then we'll kind of dive in to do some, probably some darker, deeper color. All right. What we want to do is we're going to lay in the basic composition. So the bridge, the top of the bridge will kind of go across the, it actually looks like I have gradients in here, which I painted this all together. It wasn't intentional. But this is about the top of the bridge, and then where the water flows down, I think right in here where that darker line seems to be. So let's go ahead and lay in some of this color, and we'll just start and dive in. Kind of, I wonder, I don't know if it will make any difference. I'm going to jump right into the color. Sometimes artists will do a little bit of the composition just in a burnt umber, like they'll put in the composition, kind of get things set. But I'm just going to kind of jump in and see what happens. So I'm doing some light down in here. Just broad, bright strokes. Oh, I hear thunder claps. So we'll see. Hope y'all's week is going well. Like I said, you can join the conversation. Feel free to make comments, ask questions as you join the live stream from wherever you're watching. We actually live stream to YouTube, Facebook, I think Twitter, Twitch, all over the place. So I'm going to put some of this where I see kind of this water reflection right in here. We'll start to get some of this composition put in. And this is just a combination of white and the ultramarine blue to give us kind of this sky color. We can always cover it up, but that gives us some of that. Okay, and there's a little bit over here. There's some coming in there. Kind of get along there. All right. So what I kind of want to do is, I think then I want to put in this the base color for the stones. So I'm just going to put kind of a brownish gray. It's almost got a green tint to it. So maybe we'll do a little add a little tiny green. Actually, probably should have used some umber or yellow ochre I'm set instead, but we'll see. Let's just see how it goes. Because we have the brown under painting, it will help us coat some of this because it'll show through, so that's kind of nice. There we go. Should snap this down because it's kind of wobbling all over the place. Let's see. Oop. We'll deal with the wobble. That'll hold it in place a little bit maybe. Hey there, Bob G. I did get started, but I hope that you were able to get yourself a drink poured and are ready to join. I'm looking out. Looks like there's a little storm cloud out there, but I'm sure it's beautiful over the river where you are. As the storms roll in. Hopefully they lied to us and it's not as dramatic as it sounds as far as the amount of hail they were predicting, etc. We'll get some layers in here. I'm just doing really broad strokes to kind of get some idea in here of where this all is. I think I want this. Let's kind of make some decision here. Let's put that kind of, that's going to be our we'll see how that goes for us. We can always change it, of course. We're making some definite decisions in there. What this does, it also, by making some definite decisions, it gives us some idea of the composition, big picture, so we can say, no, we don't like that, or yep, we do like that. So that's kind of the intent. All right, we'll let that we'll see how that is. Oh, I hear another clap of thunder out in the background. It's kind of peaceful, actually. I hope the rain comes, cools it down a little bit, takes some of this humidity out of the air, at least for a few minutes. It'll probably come right back in, because that's just kind of what we do. Okay, now whoops, kind of want to bring in some darker shades, and I'm mixing all these colors kind of one on top of another just so they are they're kind of the same. They all, not the same color, but they blend together and coordinate. So now I'm just looking at what I'm seeing and making some decisions. So over here we have this rock that sits kind of up in here, and then the darkness of the, let's darken it a little bit because we have some real dark shadows in there. There's kind of a shadow in there. Then we have the shadow around the here. So we're just gonna, we can always go in and make this more specific, but let's just kind of give it a feeling. Because this is the darkest. And that'll start helping give us some form too as we kind of make some of these decisions. So we'll start to see the form as well. Hey there, Greg. Thanks so much for popping in and saying hello. Really appreciate it. We're just blocking in some paint for this painting. Again, I'm just looking where are my darkest shadows and kind of where are they hiding. So let's take in some over here, some gray, and I want to put in kind of this hill. It's kind of got a bluish brown gray. Thanks so much, my friend. Yeah, this is, I'm always, Bob G says hello, Greg. I am always kind of amazed how quickly these things fall into place once you start putting some big blocks of the right shadows and light in. And now we have kind of a lighter brown tone up here, so I'm gonna kind of put that in here. It's probably a little light, but again, just really unformed. Hey there, April. Thank you. Happy Saturday to you. I hope you're enjoying the weekend and hopefully stay safe through these thunderstorms they say are coming. All right, in here somewhere is the, we start to get the lighter part of the bridge, and it comes right over here. There's some right in there. We're just going to take this tree right up on in. Put it right in there. I'm going to switch y'all a little bit more over my shoulder. Maybe zoom in a little bit so you can see a little better what I'm doing. So let's put this tree in. A little bit. That brings some of that dark shadow back in. Right in there. We'll see. We can refine this. This isn't quite exactly, but it gives us an idea. Hey there, Katrina. This scene, actually, I'm not sure where this is. I was not the photographer. This is from a group that I belong to on Facebook where photographers allow us to use their photos. So I don't exactly know where this is. Don't exactly know. But it's definitely a beautiful, kind of tranquil scene. And it looks like it's maybe winter or kind of fall, but I think I'm gonna try to bring some greens and more bright colors in as I paint. So that's my intent, at least. Okay. We'll start to give this tree some definition here. Oh, I hear the thunder. I don't know if my mic is good enough for that to pick up, if you guys are hearing that, but it's coming in. Okay. Oh, loud car on the road outside. Well, this is a little too green, so we'll have to fix that, but kind of gives us an idea. It's a little too peppermint for my taste. All right. Well, it gives us an idea of what should look like. We're starting to get some good layers in there. So, think we're getting it. Think we're getting it. I don't think this is quite dark enough, but I may have to come back and put some more layers in. Yeah, I think the paint's too wet, but this is kind of the idea. We'll get some more specifics. Okay. Now, let's go up. Yes, you're right. It is too much blue in the green. It needs a little yellow, which I will actually cover that up. But, okay. So, what I want to do is come in with some blue, and actually I think some, even though this sky is a little overcast, I want to brighten it up just a tad. Make it a little less overcast. So we'll bring some more blue in there. Probably need to do a few layers of this. Since we have the brown underneath, but we'll get the sky in so we have the basic idea. I'm still not sure if I'm going to put at the top of the bridge are these big kind of concrete boulders that have been concreted in or set on their sides, and concrete clearly is holding them in there. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put that in or if I'm just going to let the bridge be kind of a more pastoral, whimsical bridge. But we'll see. Okay. We got some sky in, we got the tree in, we got a rough block in, so we're pretty much good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it just without the big stones across the top there. Because I don't know that they're my favorite. That they are my favorite. So I think I'm just gonna leave them. I can always add them in if I decide I need them there for some reason. Okay. So let's go now to a little bit different brush, and I think I'm going to do some refining of this block in. It's always crazy how quickly the time goes. We're about a half hour in, 20 minutes in, I suppose, by the time I got done blabbing my intro. We have this started, blocked in. Okay, now I want to put in some, where these, okay, they're a little bright, so let's darken that. See if this is dark enough. Well, sort of. There's some stones in here and in the rocks there and along the top of the bridge, kind of some concrete. So I just want to put those in. Hear the rain starting, kind of peaceful in the background. Let's see. Let's take a little bit. Oh, now the rain's really starting. I don't know if y'all can hear that padding behind me. Sounds like a great kind of spring rain, though. It doesn't sound like heavy thunderstorms. And I am just fine keeping it that way. Let's keep it that way. I am just fine keeping it a nice little spring shower. Oh, I feel a cool breeze at my back. That is delightful. Thank you, spring. Oh, I think this is way too bright. Yeah. This comes in. It's a little too... Oh, there's a flash of lightning. Let's see. Oh. Oh. I guess that's good news, Bob G. I hear the thunder, though. There it goes. I don't know if y'all... I assume it's picking up on my microphone. But... hope those south of us stay safe.
Sorry, I'm not too talkative tonight. I just realized that I'm kind of leaving y'all hanging. Not, normally I'm a little more chatty. I don't know why that is. Maybe just focused or distracted by the rain in the background. Who knows? I think it's a rule every live stream that we have to have sirens going by outside, isn't it? Don't we do that every live stream? I think. That's incredible. Even in the middle of a thunderstorm. No rest for those blessed first responders. Oh, they must have got where they were going because I heard them turn off their, and they must be fairly close because I heard them turn off their sirens once they got there, so. All right. Just trying to add some detail in the shadows here. And I hope that will then help define some of these other spaces. it feels like my proportions up here are off a little bit, that this is too high, so I need to bring it down. But we will see. We will adjust the top part of the painting as we go if needed. Over here, putting some of the moss in, because the light is really picking up some of that moss on the tree. So we'll add that in. Need to really some of the darker. We just put all these layers in. Thanks. I took your advice exactly and added some yellow ochre, and then just straight direct yellow. And I think that actually definitely makes a huge difference, Lola. So good call. You always got my back with the color mixing. I appreciate it. Start to put in some of these shapes of the roots of this tree that are just kind of growing out of the shadows here.
Yes, I am going to do that. Paint the stones in. That's one of the reasons I chose this image, because this is a skill that, I mean, obviously, anytime you are painting water, typically there's some sort of rocks or branches or stones underneath, and I want to develop that skill of being able to paint those stones in a more realistic way. So, yes, I haven't dived into that, but it's definitely, I am going to do that for sure. I'm very much in this painting feeling my way as I go, um, taking little tiny steps so that I don't, basically, so that I can see when I'm messing it up, hopefully, and can slowly adjust it or fix it as necessary. So, yes. But my intent is to go in and start putting in the stones. I'm playing with technique a little bit on this tree, which I may be moving out of the frame, so I apologize if I am. I need to pay more attention. I think, whoops, there we go, maybe. I'm trying to figure out the way to get the most realistic bark. I think this brush is too big. I bought another brush that's for fine detail, so I wonder if that will work. Let me try this. I kind of want a speckled look on this tree, so that's what I'm trying to go for. Oh, this might work. Might actually work.
Sorta. Hold the brush up to the camera so we can see. Ah, perfect. Yeah, let me do that. So this is the brush. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of got like spaces in between. Looks like kind of a fork. So this is what I'm using right now. And you can see, like, compared to my thumbnail, it's pretty small. Hopefully you can see that. I think you can see it. Kind of like tongs almost. So what I'm doing then is I'm coming in. Let's see if I can bring this closer for you to see a little bit without. I think it's easier if I just move it forward. So I'm using it to make these marks on the tree and give it kind of a textured look. But I'm having to, oh, there it focused. But I'm having to work with that to develop the technique so that it looks more like bark. But once I figure it out, then we're golden. And I can use this technique all along, and if I can, then it's just playing around with the brightness and variances of the colors so that it looks more natural in other places on the tree. We'll see. We gotta figure it out. The only way to learn it is to practice it. Learn what doesn't work. Try something else. I'm hoping I can use that kind of also for the stippled look on the bridge where the concrete is. Some of this over here. It's probably actually going to be more effective over here than on the tree. I'm just spinning this brush and dabbing it on the canvas board. Yeah, so I'm finding it was moderately successful for the tree, but it's actually much more successful for this concrete, at least in my opinion. Oh, I think I lost my camera. There we go, it's coming back. Just gotta be patient. And do a little bit of this up here. Yeah, that's starting to work out a little bit. Can do that down on the side also for some gravel looks of gravel. So, all right, that's given us a little bit. All right. We're about half an hour out from the, so first let's do something that's easy. Let's do one more layer of the sky, because it did not, I don't know if you can see that, but see how it's splotchy colored. We want to go in and put another layer so we don't see any of the brown underneath. So let's do that. And just do another layer of sky real quick. so that it is good to go. And then once I get this layer of sky covered, what I want to do is go back and now you'll notice I'm painting over covering up some of the work we already did, and that's okay because we can go in and put some greater detail back into the bridge, but just a variety of different types of strokes for the sky. Then, since it's a bright light color, we can always cover it back up. So I'm not too worried about ruining some of the detail of the bridge. May even need a third color because it's not... White is so translucent. Even though this isn't white, it's really actually a pretty dark blue. It's doesn't cover as easily. We definitely don't want streaks of brown showing through, so we may do another bit of this, but we'll see. Probably not tonight. Okay, let me, down here actually is more, let's get a little more refined. It's actually more, it's a little diffused. The blue is a little diffused down in the water. So let's bring that home. Okay. That brightens this up and makes it a little more interesting. Probably. I'm going to put some purple shades more into this just to make it more interesting. Give the water some variation even within itself. Okay. Now, I think I want to spend the next 20 minutes, 30 minutes really focused on the rocks, which is probably the part y'all have been waiting to see. Let's see if we can make any sense of this. So let's kind of do this. All right. Now I don't know. Well, this is what I'm going to do. I don't know if it's the way to do it, but this is what we're going to do. Let's go in and do some of these light rocks first. There's one right there. Kind of an egg shaped. Then there's another one kind of right beside it. Right under it, actually. I'm going to do some of these that are similar just because they're on the colors on my palette already. Somewhere up in here is one of these, kind of a reddish rock. So let's put that in. And to do these rocks, I'm starting with kind of a base light color, then I added a little brown red. Now I'm taking some blue and making it kind of a gray green, so they're kind of all mixed in the same similar color palette. And then what I think will make them really stand out is when we go back and add detail to them and add the shadows around them, because it's not necessarily the shape of the rocks that is going to stand out. It is the shadows around them that will make them stand out, if that makes sense. I hope. We will see if my theory works. Especially out at a distance. So let me zoom in a little bit. So hopefully you can see. I think my camera just froze up. And you can start to see what I am doing. The yellow-green tint. Lola, were you talking about in the rocks, in the stones? Because I think that's the most, like, to me, that's the most challenging part, is to figure out how to diffuse these stones enough so they're not too bright, so it's clear that they are underwater. It's really a challenge, but it's a fun challenge. The person that I have found on the interwebs that is the master of this, in my opinion, is, well, I'm sure there's plenty of people who can do this kind of work, but an artist named Michael J. Smith, who is out of, I think it's Michael J. Smith, who's out of the UK, is just really phenomenal in his painting of stones underwater. It's kind of breathtaking, actually, how good he is. And so someday my goal is to be able to match. He also does really well stones like a stone wall. It's really quite phenomenal, his ability. So, let's see. Let's lighten this up a bit. Ooh, that's quite a bit. In some regards, it is really just a tedious, it's the tedious work of doing the work. Because again, we're just creating over and over, creating illusion. That the distance is further and further away, right? Okay, we have about 10 minutes left. So let's continue and see if we can hurry up and add a few more. I want to add some shape down in here. Some larger stones into this. Almost again, I'm taking that kind of, I don't know what it's called, but a stippled brush, the fork brush, and I want to kind of create the illusion of these branches that are reflecting in the water to give us some shape in this watered area. So no intermission. You are on the ball, Miss Lola. I did not do an intermission. My water is murky, but it's not too murky, and it's kind of all the same. Typically, when I do an intermission, it's to clean the water, and it's if I have a variety of colors that are mixing, or if I need to change colors, or if mentally, like, I'm not seeing where I need to go, and so I need a breakaway. And today, it just was going so quick that it got away from me. So, yeah, I did not do an intermission. But this painting needs a lot more detail work. I haven't even touched the top of the painting, and so I'll either work on this or maybe I'll do a part 2. I don't often do a part 2, do I? To the live stream, because I don't like to keep painting on the same painting, but this one might have another partial live stream in it, so we'll see. Oh, that's a good, the rake brush. I like that, Bob, actually. It's, yeah, it's a rake brush. So, I went a little dark there, but that's okay. We can work it into the reflection. Over here is a little dark, so it is a rake brush. Then what I want to do is come in here with a detail brush, just do a little bit of some branches here to make it a little more I don't know if I can do that. It's not wanting to, it's wanting to clump together too much. Might be able to do this. Give the perception at least of some big branches. All right, well, we'll keep working on that. And I notice that we are out to our time. And our time together is wrapping up, so, and my apron's falling off my shoulders. So this is what we have so far. It's getting there, but obviously needs a lot more work. So I am going to continue working on this, but it's a lot of, I love this one. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think when it's done, it's going to be beautiful. So I want to say thank you for joining me. As I say every week, you can join me every Saturday at 7 p.m. Central Time for the weekly or weekend paint party.
We do a different painting every week, and you can follow me on Instagram at Stephen E. Rice to follow progress photos from paintings I tackle throughout the week, if I do, as time permits. And yeah, so if you don't follow already on YouTube, be sure to subscribe there and turn on notifications so you know when I go live. As I said at the beginning of this live stream, you can catch the time lapse of these videos. Typically, I post those on Monday following the live stream, so you can catch those every Monday and kind of see those, how the painting progresses over the live stream, all compressed into about a minute to 2 minutes. Makes it a lot of fun to see a different perspective of the live stream. So thanks so much for joining. I appreciate each and every one of you, and we will see you next time on the weekly paint party. Until then, have a great evening, and I'll catch you next weekend.